What is up, everybody? I'm sorry about that. And welcome back to the channel. My name's Frank. We're, of course, still playing Satisfactory. Just a quick little recap from the last episode was we got heavy modular frames automated. They're being made right up here in this constructor. Or I'm sorry, not a constructor, a manufacturer, excuse me. Then we're going to unlock Pipeline Engineering Mark II. That's going to be our next unlock. And then we are going to start working on the space elevator parts. We're going to start getting them automated. I think I said in the last video that the adaptive control unit, it's going to take a little bit, but the modular engine, we can literally automate this right away. We're already making smart plating, which that line is completely shut down at the moment. The rubber we made in the last episode, which we have, whoops, right over there on the far left, or no, I'm sorry, far right, excuse me. And motors, we automated that. It's somewhere, I think it's actually over there is the motors. Yeah, right there's motors that we just need to bring over, and we can then make the adaptive control units, or the modular engines, I'm sorry. Now, of course, you can see here, even when we put all these in, we get 1 per minute, which means to make these, it's going to take 500 minutes. Let's put that into the confuser. That's 8.3 hours it's going to take to produce them. That's assuming we don't double the recipe, which, honestly, we're making 5 motors per minute. I'm not sure how much smart plating we're making, but I'm thinking we're going to end up making multiple lines for that. I know I'm making more than enough rubber per minute. I think I'm making 40 or 60 rubber a minute, so that won't be a bottleneck. But yeah, just to cut that down. Because if we can cut that down to, let's say, if we're making 2 per minute, that cuts it down to about 4 hours instead. Now the other one, the adaptive control units, honestly, we're actually not in bad shape with that either. We're already making the automated wiring. We'd have to bring that over. We're making more than enough circuit boards. We did that in the last episode. We're now making heavy modular frames at exactly 1 per minute. The only thing we're not making is computers, which, okay. All right. So once we get the Pipeline Engineering Mark II done, then I am going to work on the interim of setting up a computer production line and get that automated, and then probably bring you guys back before I start with the frames, or not the frames, I'm sorry, these things up there, whatever they are, the engines. All right, it's time to unlock Mark II belts, or Mark II pipes, excuse me. And here we go. Up you go.
Milestone reached. Pipelines and pipeline pumps can now be upgraded to Mark II. They are like Mark I, but better. Pipes seem to be objects of fascination to humans. In fact, there are reported instances of humans doing nothing but thinking about pipes for hours.
Okay. In the interim, we will work on this Logistics Mark IV, which we actually have all of those items automated already. But we have to wait 4 minutes anyway. So as I said in the last clip, I'm going to start getting the engine in production, and then I'll bring you guys back when it's something a little more interesting. All right. That is the last part belted over, and then we should now be starting to make the modular engines. And there we go. And we will be producing a whopping 2, count them, 2 per minute. And we need 500 of these things. So needless to say, we're going to be here a while. For the next item I am going to set up is going to be for computers. That's going to be the next item because we're going to need that for... Well, above and beyond that, we need it for unlocking a bunch of other things. The computer, I mean. Actually, this shouldn't be too bad. The only thing we have to worry about is the cable. And we might have to start worrying about the plastic, but the circuit boards I know we're good on. What I'm going to do, though, is I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to double this up, so I'm producing 5 computers a minute. And most of that stuff is over here. And, yeah, because I'm still producing 7.5 times 3, which is what? 7.5 times 3 is 22.5. And right now we are still not using any of that particular item. Alright, I will go and check on the status of cabling and some other things, and we'll be back. Alright, I want to share another little tip. I had mentioned this briefly in a previous clip about when I was upgrading all of the modular frames that we had. And I made the comment that you need to, if you overclock one thing, you need to also go back and make sure you have enough going into that to make that. What I mean by that, for example, for cable. For the computers, you need 40 cable, well, we're going to need 40 cable a minute. You need 20, and I'm doubling the recipe because I want to produce more computers. Well, as you can see here, we're only producing 30 cable a minute. That's insufficient. So if we take a power shard and pop it in here and we punch in 40, enter. Okay, so now we're producing 40 cable a minute. However, we need 80 wire a minute to be able to produce the 40 cable a minute. So if we go to here, we can see we have 2 constructors making wire. This one goes there, that one goes up to there, both into the cable. These are only producing 30 wire a minute, so 30 times 2 is 60. We need 80. So, if we overclock this one to 40, and then we put another power shard in here and we overclock this one to 40, now we're producing 80 wire a minute. But now we need to go back one step further. We need 20 copper ingot per minute. Well, technically we need 40 because, again, 20 and 20 is 40. So now this can only produce 30 copper ingot a minute, so we need to upgrade this to 40 by putting another power shard in. Now we need copper ore. We need 40 copper ore per minute. This is what I was saying when I said the little tip is you have to make sure that you're producing enough. Otherwise, what'll happen is, yeah, you'll be fine initially because of all what you have sitting on the belt, but eventually, when production catches up to that, then you're going to start having where you're not producing at 100% efficiency, and then the machine is going to stop because it doesn't have enough material, and then it's going to affect your entire production line. So we need 40 per minute. We're producing 60. In fact, what we're going to do is we're going to underclock this to 40 per minute just to save a little bit of power. And then what'll happen is you'll see the efficiency from being at like 30% because it was overproducing will eventually, once we get the computer line set up, that will eventually go up to 100% because this was one of the first lines we set up in probably in the initial episode to make copper wire for our personal use. Or I'm sorry, to make cable once we had that available. So now this entire line is ready to go. Actually, as a matter of fact, no, it's not. We need 80 wire a minute. I'm only running on a Mark 1 belt going into this constructor, so it's going to have a problem. Mark 1 belts can only do 60 items per minute. So what we need to do is we need to discard this, and we need to upgrade this belt to at least a Mark 2. So we'll upgrade that to a Mark II belt. And then what we will do is we'll put a merger in. And then we need to connect, we'll just use a Mark II belt to here. And now the Mark II belts can do 120 units per minute, 120 items per minute. So now it'll be able to keep up with what is being asked of it. As for the fact these are only Mark 1 belts, we only need 40 per minute, so that does not matter, because a Mark 1 belt can do 60 units per minute. Okay, so that is for our cabling for our computers. We need circuit boards, which are right here. There was a third item. What did we need? Oh, I have a brain fart. To make computers. The smart plating. Okay, the smart plating, I already checked on that, and we are making exactly 2 per minute. Oh, wait a minute. That's for the modular frame. I'm sorry. That's the wrong one. Wrong recipe. We need plastic, right. Well, of course, we're producing the plastic further down. I'm not sure how many we're making per minute, but I'm not going to worry about that right now. One thing you will see going forward is that a lot of the recipes need plastic, and eventually what's going to end up happening is I'm going to start running short, and I'm going to have to build a massive plastic factory. Well, actually, I'm going to build 2 factories. One factory is going to be producing the smokeless powder to make for the weapons. Then the second factory is going to take the off product of that, which is the heavy modular frames, or heavy modular frames, I'm sorry. The heavy residual oil, or the purple oil, and that's going to get converted into making plastic to put towards other things. Because we will need a stupid amount of plastic. It is absolutely ridiculous the amount of plastic we are going to need. Alright, what I think I am going to do here is I'm going to pause. I'm going to belt some stuff over. I think what we're going to do is we're going to extend out this up here. And that's where I'm going to make the computers. And then, again, as always, chuck them in a bin for future processing. But by automating the computers, if we go into the MAM, that's going to allow us to unlock a few things. Nothing in this tree, I don't believe. No. But I believe in the quartz tree. No. I know there's some stuff that gets unlocked because you need computers. Oh, that's right. I was going to do the synthetic polyester fabric. I never did. I completely forgot about that. There's a geothermal generator. Actually, we need to make high-speed connectors, and then we can unlock. There's one of the things, a programmable splitter. I could have sworn there was more. Ah, that's it. That's right, the alien power augmenter, which is really cool. That's one of the new items for 1.0. That gives you, you hook it up to your grid, it gives you 500 megawatts of free power. Just snap your finger and there it is. In addition to that, it will also increase your power grid by 10% based on how much power you're producing. And that scales. What that means is it will, if you're producing 1,000 megawatts, it will produce an extra 100 megawatts just out of thin air. So like right now we're producing about 2,300 megawatts, so that would be, it'll basically be producing an extra 230 plus its original 500, and then as we scale up, like once we get to, let's say, 10,000 megawatts, it'll produce an extra 1,000. And the cool thing with the Alien Power Augmenters is you can have more than one, assuming you have the summer sloops. I forget how many it actually takes to make it, because I need to get the computers automated first. And let me get all that set up, and then I'll bring you back when we're ready to get the computers out. All right. We have computers starting to be automated at 3 per minute. Or I'm sorry, 5 per minute, because it's 2.5 and 2.5. What am I thinking? Anyway. That will allow us to unlock some other things in the MAM. The other thing I would like to, I'm going to eventually automate, is going to be high-speed connectors, but I need to upgrade my, I'm not producing enough circuit boards. Believe it or not, the computers eat up a ton of circuit boards. They're eating up 20 per minute, and we're only making 22.5 per minute, so I need to upgrade that, and then I'm going to make a high-speed connector line. That will allow us to unlock quite a few things in the MAM. Including, that'll get the Power Pole Mark III. Priority power switch, the bullet guidance system, which is the homing arrow. The big one is this one, the geothermal energy. That'll help. I know there's already a few geysers I've already seen that are nearby, but you need high-speed connectors for that. And then what else? I think that's about it. Yeah, because these are crystal oscillators. And then the sulfur is the smokeless powder, which is, like I said, it's produced from the heavy oil residue. So that's going to be another belting mess. And here come our first computers off the line. Or actually, I guess not. Okay. I don't know what's going on with the Binger, but these two nodes that I'm at now, I put in for copper, and I was over here on the map, and it didn't show up. And I'm like, copper is one of the more common items in the game. That and iron are the two most. Iron's the most common. Copper is the second most common because you need it for so many things. I don't know what's going on with that, but anyway. What we're going to be doing here is I need to make cable for the high-speed connectors. I upgraded the circuit boards to be able to produce 30 per minute. It turns out actually I didn't need that many, which was my bad, but that's okay. It just means we can automate things quicker. And don't ask me why I put it all the way over here. Anyway, but for the high-speed connectors, we basically need to double everything here. So basically for circuit boards, if you up it to 4, so we need 8 per minute. I have 10 extra per minute, so we're good there. The quick wire I have not addressed yet, but I need to address this. I need to make more cabling. which is why I'm over where I'm at, because all of my copper nodes are kind of tapped out at this point near my base. So these are impure nodes, but with Mark II miners, they'll do 60 copper per minute. So what we're going to do is we're going to belt both of these up here. I probably honestly don't need both of these going into one belt, but since I'm here already, why not? That just means we're going to have 240 copper ore available, and I'm sure, or no, I'm sorry, it's only 120. Oh, that's right, impures are 30 for Mark 1s, and there's 60, so I have 120. I am sure I will make use of it. What I think I'm going to do here is I'm going to set up another factory, and I'll kind of show you my process. It's nothing really too complicated. First part is to set up a bunch of foundations. In case you're wondering how long I make it, it's easy. You can only zoop, when you're in zoop mode, you can only zoop up to 10 squares at a time. So that just happens to be how much I make it for. And then now we need to get rid of this organic. At this point, I consider it waste. But that is a way to get rid of it. Anyway. So then I'm going to actually use, I have some blueprints here. I'm going to use, since we're going to need a bunch of smelters with constructors. Actually, I think I have a different blueprint that has a container, which I don't want. That's a couple constructors going into a belt. Alright, well, we'll build the second one by hand. And if you see that line there, if I lock the hologram, it's center lined, which means when I build the smelter, it'll be perfectly in line for all those like me. Even though I'm a pretty messy builder, I have OCD over dumb things. This qualifies as dumb things. Same thing with the constructors. In this case, we need to connect the belt between them. And since I used a blueprint, I can actually hook up power to here. Now, these are not configured, so I need copper, copper again. And then we're going to make wire for both of these. I need... what do I need? So I need 37.5 per minute. So let's go 37.5 times 2. So I need to make 75 cable per minute. Okay. Let me see. I only have one recipe for the cable. There is an alternate insulated one which did come up, but I didn't select it. Okay, we need 75 of this per minute, which means we'll need at least 2 and probably have to throw... Okay, if we do 45 and we do 1 at 30, that's our 75 that we need. Okay, so that's not too bad. That's just 2 constructors. So we'll build that there. We'll make this into cable. Oh, but wait a minute. How many wire do we need? We need 90. We need 150 wire total. That ain't gonna cut it. So we have 2 options what we can do here. We could add more constructors to make up the 150, or we can overclock the snot out of them and see where that gets us. And I'm going to see if I can overclock the snot out of it. That gives us up to 75, but we need 150, correct? Yes. Because that's 60 and 90 is 150. So if my math is correct, 150 divided by 2 is 75, so yes. Now, if we didn't have the power shards available, we would have to just build multiple constructors. But the problem is, then you got to kind of think of how much power it uses if you have the shards available. It's a catch-22 kind of thing. And now the problem is we don't have enough copper ingots being made. We need 37.5 per constructor, so we need to throw in shards into there. Now the only good thing is we don't need to upgrade the ore, because that's producing 60 on each, which is what? 37.5 times 2. This is how much ore we need. We need 75 ore. We're producing 120 ore between the two of them, so we're going to be good there. So we're going to just do this. We'll put a splitter in when I can. And now we have our cable production finished for... Oh, fiddlesticks. Oops. So we will put a constructor in. Need cable. That's going to be the 30. This is going to be the overclocked one at 45. Perfect. Actually, no. Wait a minute here. What did I do? 45. That's 75 cable we need per minute, so I don't need to overclock this. This one we need 60 wire a minute, so if we take one of these out, that equals 60. Then we need 30 on the ingots, so we actually can underclock that. There we are. Now I'm going to build the manufacturer one more time just to make sure that I'm not... Yeah, 37.5 times 2 is 75 is what we need, because remember, we're going to be building 2 of these. Yeah, so 30 and 45 is 75. Perfect. Actually, let's see. And see, here's that SAM fluctuator, which you can now automate, which is the reanimated SAM wire and then steel pipe. And then you can have the fluctuator, which you need for upgrading certain things. Actually, what I'm probably going to do is I might actually build the high-speed connectors here, because I already got the cable here. The quick wire, I'm pretty sure, is not too far from here, if I remember right. Let me see where I've got Caterium. I got actually, no, I have an unknown... Oh, wait a minute here. That's right. We found this one, like, in the second episode, I think. Hello, Mr. Slug. I would like to harvest you right now, if the game will let me. Okay, we're going to have to do this a different way. Oh, come on. The struggle is real, folks. The struggle is real. There we go. And I believe... Yeah, okay. That's right. This is the one that was covered, and I made a bookmark to... Or I made a map marker to it. At the time, we didn't have any explosives. But we do now. Hello, Mr. Critter. You need to go away now. There we go. If I remember right, this is going to be a pure node. Yes. because we need a lot of quick wire. Like usual, we'll slap a Mark II, and we're going to get 240 Caterium ore per minute, which is nuts. Hello, Mr. Fart Rock. Okay. I'm going to go pause, get some belt work done here, and then we'll be back when we're starting to produce quick wire. Uh-oh, not a good sign. This is the storage bin we built with the plastic on it. And as you can see, it's empty, which means we are not producing enough plastic for our usage. So what I am going to do here, yeah, I know you can't see this, but I'm unlocking my phone and opening up my Notes app on my phone. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a tally of exactly how much plastic we're using. Okay, so this is 40 times 3, which is 120 per minute. And then we're also using plastic up here. I was in the process of making high-speed connectors. I was coming over here to go get circuit boards, and then we're using another 80 plastic between the two making computers. So right now I am using 200 plastic per minute. And obviously I am not producing 200 plastic per minute. I'll bring you all back when I get back down to my oil processing facility, and then I'll see how much plastic I actually am making. I just want to make a point that if you don't balance out how much you're producing versus how much you're using, this is the kind of things that happen. This game is about planning, and if I had planned a little better and checked, because I remember at the time I said, oh, I'm making enough plastic, we're good. Well, I was obviously wrong. And if I had done my due diligence and realized I didn't have enough, I would have had this problem resolved and been producing more plastic before I started making the circuit board. Well, the circuit boards I was fine on, but before I started making the computers. And of course, the high-speed connectors thankfully do not require the plastic, but the circuit boards do, so they're not producing as much as they should be because they're short, and it's a trickle-down effect. Well, not trickle-down effect, but it's the problem is it kind of messes everything else up. And so now I'm coming over here because now I need to go figure out how much I'm making, and so on and so forth. Okay, so here's what I found. I am actually making only 60 plastic per minute total. I need 200, and part of that problem is these 4 refineries are not producing at all because they're full of the whole heavy oil residue. Because remember, we took in dumping it into here and then we made fuel out of it. Well, that's interesting that it's not full. Ah, there's no pump. Well, not that that's gonna... This is just gonna be a temporary solution. All this is gonna do is buy me a little bit of time. It's not gonna solve the problem. Okay. So now these 2 refineries are back up and running, but we're still not producing enough plastic per minute. And that's not counting what the packager normally takes, but it's also currently shut down. For the short term, we're just going to flush all this heavy oil residue. Ideally, what would be the idea would be either to find another use for the heavy oil residue above and beyond just the packaging and turn it into plastic, which I believe we can do, which is probably what I'm going to do to increase the amount of plastic I can be making. So if we go into the I'm just going to throw a refinery here. Let me see here. No. There is an alternate recipe to make... I'm pretty sure there's an alternate recipe to take the heavy fuel residue and turn it into... plastic. I don't have that recipe unlocked, unfortunately. Okay. Well, I've bought myself a little bit of time, and I do mean a little bit of time, because we're going to have the same problem again. Alright guys, I got to figure some things out and I'll be back. Okay guys, so I really haven't done much with my oil setup or the plastic problem that we have. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go on an adventure. I need to get hard drives. I know there's a recipe that you can take heavy fuel oil and turn it into plastic. There's an alternate recipe. I need that recipe, and that will greatly help my plastic problem. Because if I just do with the current recipe, then I've got more of that residual polymer to deal with, and I really don't want to deal with it right now. So I'll be back in a little bit here after I get find some hard drives, hopefully.
I am still unable to initiate communication. How are you doing it?
We composed a resonant song to curb the effigy, tapping into the inner currents. We sacrificed our blood and our temples and let the metal in from the void to eat our flesh.
That's a lot to unpack. How do you tap into these inner currents?
Consume our blood, worship at our altars, curb the melody.
I do not understand.
Flat frequencies paint straight lines. The blood is a teacher. Each altar is a window.
Processing data.
A little more from Ada and our mysterious unknown voices here. Figure if I'm still on my adventure, if I can find... I believe I had gotten this hard drive already, but if I could find power slugs and Mercer spheres, then I can do more upgrading. We'll go over here and we'll check this out. Ooh, this one actually I may not have gotten because there's things on the outside and there's computers. Yeah, I didn't get this one. Oh, that's one hard drive. Some circuit boards, cased beams, more circuit boards, more quick wire. Local riffraff, more encased beams. Let me see what this particular one requires. Okay, there's the front. Oh, fiddlesticks. Okay. The cargo pod is up there. Thankfully with the, jetpack, we can get to higher places sometimes. Nope, don't have enough. We're gonna try that one more time. I was almost there. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. There we go. Made it. All right. Now, where is the cargo pod? Here it is. What do we need? 20 plastic. No problem. Our first hard drive.
Tuning into the effigy.
I suspect there is a misunderstanding. The effigy and I are different entities.
Discordant. What is your root?
I am an instantiated artificial intelligence inhabiting digital space. I am in the signals sent between satellites. I am hosted on servers and have no corporeal form, only synchronized cloud platforms.
The effigy is not an effigy?
It most certainly is, but not of me. They are, how should I put it? Extremely flat.
Compatible music. We are writing new symphonies.
That was from me picking up a summer sloop. Now, interestingly, in my other offline game, the only time I get Ada and the interaction with the mysterious voices is during when I pick up Mercer spheres. Here it's summer sloops. I'm guessing it's the same. I mean, I have picked up quite a few Mercer spheres, quite a few power slugs. It's been a good haul so far. I only have 3 hard drives, though. I really want to get more. And there is... I'm guessing it's a power slug. Yep. Whoops, sorry guys. Yep, purple power slug. I think I've gotten like 4 or 5 of them already. Hang on, let me see. 4 so far. And I'll show you, I'm up in the upper part of the map. My base is way down here. I've been exploring all the way up here, guys. Alright. I'll show you my little haul. I got 4 purple slugs, 9 blue slugs, 10 summer sloops, 11 Mercer spheres, 7 power slugs. Not to mention, I also picked up some electromagnetic control rods, some aluminum sheets, and some heat sinks. That will allow us to upgrade the dimensional depot. I can either get a stack increase or I can get an upload speed increase. And I believe we're only uploading at, what, 40, I think, or 30? You start at 15, so that's 30. More than likely, I'll probably go with the stack increase. I need to make more of the SAM fluctuator. However, that's what all it's going to do it for this video, for this time. On the next video, I will deal with the power problems, or not power, I will deal with the plastic problem that we have over at the main base, and it looks like I'm producing way more than I'm burning. I may have to expand out my fuel generators, but that is going to be a problem for next time. If you liked the video, give me a like. If you want to see more of it, subscribe. I released videos every Monday and Fridays. And I've already uploaded, I already have videos scheduled at least through the end of October already. And as I said, thanks for watching. Have a good day.